Dear friends, we're really looking forward to this weekend when hundreds of delegates will arrive here in Armagh for our Diocesan Congress on the theme of youth, family and faith. We've been preparing for the Congress now for the past 5 years by praying and reflecting together about how best we can support our parishes and families in living and sharing the faith, and especially doing so with our young people. You know, St. Patrick was only 15 or 16 years of age whenever he was trafficked to Ireland as a slave. And even though he had been raised in a Christian home and family, Patrick tells us he was a poor sinner and he had little knowledge of the true God. It was in the isolation and loneliness of his captivity that Patrick turned to God in prayer, and he began to experience God's love and protection in a deeply personal way. Before long, he found the courage to go out and share with others how much his faith in God meant to him. After 6 years in slavery, God helped St. Patrick escape home to his family, who of course wanted him never to leave them again. But one night in a dream, he heard the voice of the Irish calling him, "Come back, holy youth. Come back and walk among us once more." So Patrick did return to Ireland years later as a missionary bishop. He concentrated his efforts on baptizing and confirming thousands of people for Christ, and ordaining and consecrating others to help him spread the good news. Right above me, here in the cathedral chancel arch, you can see a mosaic of St. Patrick baptizing King Angus of Cashel. Here in the south transept, there's a stained glass window and another mosaic down in the baptistry, which shows St. Patrick baptizing 2 young Celtic princesses, Ethna the Fair and Fidelma the Red. But for Patrick, baptism wasn't just a once-off event. It was the gateway to a personal journey of faith and friendship with God. And that's the message we are trying to bring to our young people and all who gather at our Congress this weekend. 60% of the participants in the Congress will be under the age of 35. And I'm praying that St. Patrick will bless our gathering, because he understands the worries and hopes that we have for the future. New research tells us that young adults in Ireland are becoming more curious and are searching for faith. Many young people, you see, are struggling to find hope nowadays. They're seeking something solid, something that will nourish their interior lives, help their well-being and their mental health. I met young people recently who spoke to me about the emptiness they're feeling in this very fragile and troubled world, which on the one hand celebrates advances in technology and artificial intelligence, while at the same time it seems to be tearing itself apart through war and aggression and killing and displacement of so many innocent civilians and families. Our families and our young people have to navigate a very complex world where good and evil exist alongside each other and grow alongside each other, like the wheat and the darnel in today's gospel story. We can't insulate ourselves from the world in some kind of cocoon of faith. Instead, we would do well to heed the words of St. Paul in today's second reading, when he tells his young friend Timothy to be careful, because people seem avid for the latest novelty and collect themselves a whole series of teachers according to their own tastes, rather than listening to the sound teaching and the truth. He advises Timothy to refute falsehood, to be brave under trials, to choose the right course, and make the preaching of the good news his life's work. Such sound teaching is more important today than ever. And we shouldn't be afraid to share it. Our country and our troubled world need us to be like St. Patrick, to be strong witnesses of peace, of faith, hope, and love. I'm delighted that Pope Leo sent the other day a special message for our diocesan congress, and he encourages our young people to discover Jesus as a true friend, just like Patrick did, and to open their hearts to the real and lasting love of God upon which they can build their lives without fear of failure or disappointment. And Pope Leo also trusts that our Congress will seek concrete ways to strengthen the ties between parish and family life so that we can build each other up and truly contribute to a stable and life-giving culture. In this way, His Holiness says, our Congress can help rekindle the flame of faith once ignited here so many centuries ago by our beloved St. Patrick. So let's pray for that.